right, guys, we're about to fire this motor up for the first time. The turbo kit's not on it, but we've got everything plumbed up, got our fuel. A lot of this is kind of just temporary because we're not going to be able to run a grill or anything. We just don't have enough time left. It's Sunday the 4th right now. Is it the 4th? I don't know what the date is. Yeah. It's Sunday before LS Fest, so we are running out of time. We got pretty much everything done. Turbo kit's got to be done. This is our list. We got headlights, taillights, seat belts, windows and doors, turbo piping. I got to bleed the brakes again, plumb the CO2, got an IAC, and then the rest of it is set the suspension, nut and bolt the car, and tune the car. So we are very, very close. We're gonna go ahead and fire it up, see how good of a tune-up I put in it. We have some HPI injectors. They went ahead and set us a set of their 410 pound-an-hour injectors. I don't know anything about them. I've never used them before, but we're gonna try them out. So transmission has fluid in it. We put about 8 quarts in the trans, set the fuel pressure. I'm gonna have to change the spring on that regulator because it's set for like super high pressure for a mechanical pump. And we have the Aeromotive 10.0 electric on here, and I can only get it to go to 63. I was trying to get it to go down to like 40 just because the injector is really big. We're gonna try and fire it up anyway. So, got the laptop hooked up, and we're gonna crank it over and see what happens. See how close I got it. Decent for, I mean, it fired up first shot. So I don't have an IAC for it yet. I just went to the parts store and forgot to grab one. So I'm gonna go grab one of those, and then we'll probably try that again because it was just sucking in a bunch of air. But she runs. I also didn't watch the oil pressure. This thing seems to be leaking though, so I think we're good. Take a peek over at the data log. Let me open it up. See what we got going on. The only sensor I don't have in this is a coolant temp sensor. So I need to get one of those. But looks like oil pressure was good. I need to change the spring to get the fuel pressure down a little bit. Well, if it'll idle there, that's fine. I'll just bump it up a little bit maybe. Ooh, that oil pressure. Oh no, I already shut it off there. Okay, makes sense. I was like, whoa, that's a big dip. So everything looks happy. I'm gonna go ahead and get a idle air control, and then we'll work on getting this turbo kit finished up, and we're gonna get this thing on the dyno. All right, guys, we're just kind of going through everything, make sure everything works. So far, everything works. We're just gonna make sure rev limiter is set really low. We're just gonna see if it works real quick. Other than that, she's ready to go. We'll get the turbo kit on and get it aligned, and yep, she'll be ready to go. work. This thing idles pretty good, considering I just wrote that file in bed one night. I was like, yeah, let me just make a file so I can do everything. But no widebands are hooked up or anything like that, so it could be better. But so far I'm impressed with the injectors. When I was talking to HPI about these, I was like, listen, dude, they look like they're Precisions. We've had problems trying to get the Precisions to idle. And this little 5.3 at the fuel pressure that's at, that's a 500 pound an hour injector. So far so good. But yeah, next time you see this thing, it'll be on the ground and it's gonna be making some turbo noises. All right, guys, turbo kit done, ready to go. We are gonna have to raise the front a little bit. It is very, very low, too low. So we'll have to crank the springs up a little bit. It's at its lowest setting right now, but our fuel pump will get smacked if we run it this way. But she's ready to fire up. I'm gonna give Corey some power. He's gonna fire this thing up, and we're gonna hear this thing with turbos for the first time. All right, Corey. Fat. Is that oil? A little bit of oil in there. That's all right. Dude, this thing sounds dirty. Yep. I'm very curious why there's oil coming out of there. The seals on that thing gone already? I hope not. We got big drains on it, so. All right, it looks like we got either some kind of drain back issue or these seals in these turbos are already toast. One of the two. But we got 10A in drains on both, 10A into the pan. So it goes 10A in, 10A in, and then it goes up over there. The only thing is, it's got like where it's got to go over the cross member. So I might run that under and see if that fixes our issue. But I mean, that thing was like almost immediately just started pissing oil out of it. I don't think it would do that, but I mean, then again, they are Chinese turbos, so we're gonna have to figure that one out. All right, guys, I went ahead and just rearranged this drain. I'm gonna probably end up redoing it, but the only other thing I can do, I don't know if you can see it, but it gets up over there. It's still spitting oil. I don't know if it's residue from what was left in there or not, but I want to wait so we can get it kind of like out, so it's not just oiling the whole shop down. It's like it's covering the motor anyway, but I would like to get it out so we can let it like heat up a little bit. But possible seal, I'm not sure. The next step, I think what I'm gonna do is tomorrow take the drains loose from the Y and then put them down in a pan and just let it idle and see if it stops. They are not ball bearing, so they shouldn't need a restrictor, but worst case scenario, we're gonna have to rebuild some turbos real quick. But it's Monday night, so we have not much time at all. I was planning on dyno in the car Wednesday, so I guess we'll see what happens. Hopefully we can get it fixed tomorrow. We got a couple more things we still got to do. Steering shaft, a little bit of finish welding, put the seat belts in, doors and Lexan windows, and then we should be ready to rock and roll. So we'll see y'all in the morning. Got to roll those fenders and make some quarter windows, and we're fucking ready to rock and roll. Alright guys, we are about to stick it on the dyno. Just get a couple good baseline hits, make sure the tune-up is good. I ended up driving it over to the dyno. So The car is not 100% done, but it's 100% race ready. I had to lift the back up a little bit because it was, whoever owned this car before, they bondoed the hell out of the fender, and they put some sheet metal in there. There's a huge lip. I tried rolling it, the bondo started breaking. It was just a nightmare. So I lifted the back up. Had to put a heavier spring in the front because it was just sitting on the ground. So it is Thursday before LS Fest. You guys will see this video today, but last minute dyno pulls, trying to get her dialed in. We got to adjust the shifter. That's the only thing I noticed driving over here. The shifter is a little bit out of adjustment. So we'll get that dialed in, make a few hits, change the oil, get it on the trailer, and head to Bowling Green. We got the car strapped down. We're over here at Full Throttle Fab and Repair. Gonna make a couple hits on this thing, get it shook down, just make sure everything with a tune-up is good, and yeah, go from there. So we did have an issue, which you guys seen, with the turbos just spitting oil, so it's gonna smoke a little bit. We did new drains and we put some restrictors in it, so that has seemed to fix the issue. It does smoke a little bit, but it's probably just excess stuff burning off. I'm okay with a little bit of smoky turbos for now, but spitting oil everywhere was just not a good thing. It's literally, there's oil everywhere. The whole motor is just covered in slimy. But that's enough talking. Let's start making some hits. All right, guys, first pull is just a kind of like partial pull, no boost controller on, made 5 pounds. I only took it to 6,200, made 477 horse, 399 foot-pounds, and as you can see, it was just getting ready to climb. This thing's probably gonna want to rev to 75, 7,800, but we spit a little trans fluid out, so we're gonna have to clean that up a little bit. Something that I don't do, and I've never done, is loop the trans, and I forgot that I did that, so it's probably hot. So we're gonna let the trans and everything cool down, see what it does. If it does it again, there's a cooler here. We'll just throw it on a lift real quick, put a cooler on it, strap back down. The tune-up was close. I had to add some fuel, so we got to do what we got to do and try to get out of here by, you know, an hour or two. So we'll keep at it. Probably gonna make one more hit, just see what it does after everything's kind of cool off, and then if I need to, I'll go get, I should have already put one on there. I need a catch can for the trans. Try making a wee bit of boost, huh? All right, guys, we're getting her dialed up a little bit. That pass right there made 717 horsepower, 598 foot-pounds. That was on 16 pounds that hit the boost safety. So it came up to 16 pounds, hit the boost safety, and then just took the boost right out of it. I stayed into it because I was like, all right, let me just get that part of the mat because it's never gonna get hit hardly ever. So I just wanted to clean that up. But it pulled through. It didn't make a ton of power out of there, but it still felt strong. So we're gonna probably let it cool off, make one more hit with the boost safety up. I want to make about 15, 16 pounds through the pole and just make sure everything is happy. That should be enough to go fairly fast and still keep this thing together. So that's the plan. Once we do that, get it up on the lift, I got to adjust the shifter a little bit and then change the oil, put a little bit more train fluid in it, and then we're going to hit the road. guys, so I turned it up on that one. It made 676, but it literally spun the entire time. You'll see that in the video. But what's going on here is, I think we've got it all out by now, which is good because I don't want to put it on the track. But you guys can see all the shit falling out of this car. So yeah, we went through with an air hose and just blew everything out of the fenders, knocking everything. So that way when we get on the track, nothing falls off. But I think some of it got on the roller and just letting it slip, because that one was 19 pounds. So the 717 pull, that was only 10. So I'm assuming, I'm not gonna say that it would have done it, but that's probably somewhere north of 850, closer to 900, maybe 1,000. I don't know. This thing's rowdy though. So I'll probably leave it there because it's getting obviously hot and stuff without water in it. So I'm probably just gonna leave it there. Fueling was decent. It's good enough to like run it down the track and be able to see it. But I am having a little bit of a tricky deal with these injectors, but I'm getting it pretty good. So I think I'm gonna actually like these injectors. Just a little bit more time, a little bit more playing with it and stuff like that, where I can dial in the fuel map and stuff like that, and injector times and stuff like that, and it'll be good to go. All right, guys. We're just gonna go ahead and end it off there and do the few things that we have left to do. I'll just give you guys a little rundown because it's been a little while since you guys have seen old Moonshine. We haven't posted any really update videos. We've just been cracking trying to get it done. So we still have the front end stuff we're gonna do, but obviously we only need one headlight and tail lights to run it. So we've done everything else we can. Basically anything that we needed to do got done. Stuff that didn't need to get done didn't obviously get done. So turbo kit's all done. We nut and bolted the whole car. We got the wheels on, some Lexan windows. Corey made up some mounts for us last night. A lot of this stuff got done last night. We didn't really finish out the interior. I just patched some of the holes. We're gonna end up sheet metaling it, kind of like what's done back there, so it'll look good. But that's all stuff we'll do when we have time allowing us to do stuff like that. We're definitely going to clean everything up. The plan for it next is we're going to have to put quarters on it, and we're just going to do quarters and a roof skin and just get it done so the car will be complete and be nice, because this whole quarter here is just not happy. It's all bondoed. I tried to roll the fender a little bit last night because these wheels are a touch wider, and it just broke the fender. So I ended up having to trim it a little bit. I had to lift it up, and it was just a cluster. So, plus this quarter over here, you can see she's got the cancer and it's just falling apart. So that's the plan for later on down the road, and we'll probably do a fiberglass nose. I don't know that we're gonna be able to get a hood on it, but we're gonna try. But that's old Moonshine ready to go. It's not fine tuned. There's still some things I can do, but wide open throttle, getting it up. I'm gonna test the trans brake and make sure all that stuff is happy, and then we should be good to make a couple passes at least. We're gonna try and run the stock block class, so we'll see what this old 5.3's got. I mean, it's making pretty good power for. And I could tell when I drove it, I was like, oh, this thing's kind of peppy. But we're gonna see. We'll see what old Moonshine's got in her, and then maybe down the road we'll put a stronger motor in it. But that's gonna do it. We're gonna get this thing up on the lift. We're gonna do the little bit of stuff we gotta do, a little bit of oil change, tranny fluid, a couple little adjustments, and then we're gonna hit the road Bowling Green. All right, guys, thanks for watching. As always, stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next episode.